Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to be speaking about the 5 key things that you need to buy your first property. And this doesn't actually matter if it's your first residential property to live in or your first investment property. So let's get into it. So the first is a deposit. So you're likely going to need a deposit to buy your first property. So if it's a property for yourself to live in, and this is a residential property, then the deposit can proportionally be lower than if it is an investment property. So if you look at a residential property, then it can be 5%, 10%, 15%, etc., etc. The higher the proportion of deposit is in comparison to the purchase price that you've agreed to buy the property for, the lower the interest rate is likely going to be because you're putting in more of your own money into the property. So essentially you're lowering the lender's risk because they're going to be loaning you on the remaining amount. There are now even some lenders which enable you to actually buy your first property for just a few £1,000s, but this does come with some stricter criteria. Now, if you're looking for your first investment property, then typically the deposit is going to be 25% of the purchase price. So if the property is worth 100 grand, you're going to be putting in £25,000. If it's 200 grand, you're going to be putting in 50 grand. So deposit is going to be the first key thing that you're going to need. The second is credit. So the better your credit is, the more lenders and the more options you have. Now, this doesn't mean that if you've got lower credit or your credit isn't good, that lenders won't lend to you. It just depends exactly what it's for. And different lenders have different criteria. But the better your credit, the better off you're going to be. And there are a few things you can do to actually improve your credit. Number one is get on the voters roll. When you're on the voters roll, that looks good to a lender and establishes your residency at a property. Another thing you should always be doing is paying your bills off on time. Whether that's phone bills, utility bills, make sure you're paying off on time. If you get things like parking tickets and things like that, make sure you're paying those on time as well. And if you can, having a credit card, utilizing that credit card and paying off in full is another great way to improve your credit as well. The third is income. Having an income that you can showcase to the lender will help you with your mortgage, especially if you're looking to live in a property as well. If you're living in the property, then having an income is essential. And it's based on that income that the lender will then loan you an amount. So generally speaking, this can be anywhere from 4.5 to 5.5 times your income. The lender will lend you that as a mortgage. Some lenders will even lend to you 6 times your income. However, you've got to be able to showcase that income. If you're employed, then generally the last 3 pay slips will be sufficient. If you're self-employed, you'll need to showcase the last 2-year tax returns. Now, if you're looking to buy your first investment property, your salary isn't as important because generally they're going to be assessing the mortgage against the rent. However, a lot of lenders still want you to earn a minimum income of some sort because for them, it's a security that if the rent stops coming in, you'll still be able to pay that mortgage if you needed to. So having an income is going to help you regardless. Number 4 is your visa status. So if you're a British citizen or you have an indefinite leave to remain, you're going to be in prime position to get the best lending out there. Now, this isn't to say that if you don't have either of those visa status that you can't get lending. It just means you'll have to go through more rigorous checks and potentially put in a bigger deposit as well. So your residency status will impact the type of lending you can get. And the 5th and last thing is understanding what your strategy is. So knowing what your goal is from the property that you're buying, what type of area you're looking for. If it's a property for yourself to live in, are you thinking about schools? Are you thinking about transport links? These are key components that you need to factor in when you're looking to buy your property. If it's an investment property, what is your goal? Is it just cash flow? Is it capital growth? Because this will ultimately determine what areas you look at as well. Hopefully this video is giving you a base understanding on what you need in place to then be able to move forward and buy your first property. So if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, and if you found value from the video or any other video on the channel, then do subscribe as well. And until next time, happy investing.